Behind me is Alaska's first ever flight to Europe, and this beautiful 787 Dreamliner is about to begin its service to Rome.
But just a week later, Delta is launching that same route from Seattle to Rome with this A330neo right behind me.
Last June, Alaska Airlines announced their first ever route to Europe, Rome, Italy. But not even a month later, Delta responded with the same route, starting one of the largest airline rivalries in recent aviation. And now, almost a year later, both airlines are finally launching their flights to Rome.
Buongiorno! Say it with me together. Buongiorno! Very easy. I can't tell you how my emotions today are just all over the map.
As you can tell, Ben is super excited, and not just because he's going on the flight, but also because Alaska is finally flying to Europe. While the airline did fly to Tokyo and Seoul prior to the April launch, Rome truly marked the beginning of Alaska's intercontinental expansion. But how is Rome different from the other two routes? First of all, the airline got to launch its true competitive long-haul product. Both Tokyo and Seoul began on Hawaiian Airlines aircraft, with Tokyo having started with the A330-200. However, Alaska now has all of its 787s painted in its brand new global livery. The airline can finally compete in international markets with a premium service of its own. Now, Europe is an essential element of the airline's expansion. While Seattle is geographically an Asian gateway, the European market has grown significantly in recent years. Both airlines told us that they're choosing their routes based on passenger demand, and both have observed a drastic increase in demand for Europe. So if Alaska wants to become a dominant global carrier out of Seattle, they need to gain control of these high-demand destinations, and Europe is most certainly the largest market of them all. Now, what role does Rome play in all of this? Rome doesn't have the greatest demand in Europe, so why would Alaska choose it as their first European route? You see, Rome is a leisure market that many passengers will enjoy. Alaska wanted to choose a route that passengers could get excited about. Here's what Ben told us.
When we look at where Seattleites want to fly, they want to have experiences, and for me, it's like, how do we bring people that live in the Pacific Northwest on the West Coast experiences around the globe?
Rome's main role was to kick off the expansion. Ben talks about expanding into similar markets like Rome in the future, so Rome was a great destination to begin with. It would allow them to develop a strong long-haul presence before they can take on the very competitive routes. However, the main reason Alaska actually chose Rome as their first route was because it was the largest underserved market out of Seattle. Their flights to Italy would expand Seattle's European network, and there would be virtually no competition to worry about. Unfortunately for them, Delta had other plans. You see, Alaska has over 50% of the domestic market share in Seattle, while Delta only has around 20%. However, Delta was able to make up for this deficit with their long-haul international network. The airline was, and still is, Seattle's primary long-haul carrier, so when they saw Alaska stepping into their territory, they had to respond. Delta also launched flights to Barcelona the day after Rome, yet another leisure market. Delta's Seattle network was primarily centered around business travel and connections. However, Rome and Barcelona are final destinations rather than connecting hubs, meaning that Delta will have to appeal to a more leisure-focused travel demand. This will help the airline gain even more control of Seattle's global market. With Delta continuing to expand on top of their existing global network, Alaska will have to find a way to compete. But going up against Delta is no easy job. So how exactly does Alaska plan to win?
I think it's our award-winning service that we have out of Seattle. So first off, many people will want to fly on this route. We have the largest hub on the West Coast, so there's a lot of people. But then why they're going to choose us, it's our award-winning service. And I think you'll see, those who are on the flight today, just how we've really upped our game with the Filson blankets and the quality of food and beverage. You're going to see a different Alaska, a more elevated global Alaska.
Alaska's expansion revolves around their 787s. They currently have 5 in their fleet, but they're expecting to grow that number to 17 by 2035. Like Kirsten said, their product is an essential factor to being competitive. Alaska's Dreamliners consist of 34 business class suites in a 1-2-1 configuration and 266 economy seats in a 3-3-3 configuration. Delta's transatlantic aircraft, the A330-900neo, has 29 Delta One suites, also in a 1-2-1 configuration. The aircraft also features 28 premium select seats in a 2-3-2 configuration and 224 economy seats in a 2-4-2 configuration. Now, this 2-4-2 configuration is one of the A330's greatest advantages. It allows for wider seats and reduces the amount of middle seats, offering a much more spacious environment for passengers. Both airlines are charging very similar prices on these flights, so it really comes down to the quality on board. For Delta, their business class product, Delta One, is among the best premium products in the industry, offering incredible service both on the flight and at the airport. Here's what passengers on the Rome and Barcelona inaugurals had to say about Delta service.
I actually like the comfort, even in the economy seats. I think they're pretty nice. I like actually the food, which normally I don't like a lot in other airlines. So yeah, I would say that probably.
I've been a Delta Medallion member, Diamond, for many years, and I just prefer the service, the food, the flights, destinations. It's a great service.
What do you like about Delta?
Everything. I've been using Delta so many years. Today, I work for Iberia Airline for 47 years in Boeing. And today, Delta is the best airline covering Seattle. There's no question about it.
Alaska, on the other hand, just introduced their brand new business class service, and it seems as if the airline is ready to fight back with a luxury product of their own. While Alaska suites still feature the same seats from Hawaiian Airlines, they've added multiple amenities, including Filson bedding and a Sunday cart on top of a newly revised menu. Alaska currently has 5 long-haul routes, with London and Iceland beginning service just a few weeks after Rome. The airline has shared that they're aiming for 12 total long-haul routes by 2030, and while a majority of those routes will be to Europe, the airline still has plans to strengthen their Asia network and potentially open new markets on other continents. Prior to Rome and Barcelona, Delta had 4 Asia routes and 3 Europe routes. Delta's Asia network from Seattle is really strong. Many airlines have used West Coast hubs as gateways into the Asia market, and Delta has done an exceptional job in Seattle. However, there are now more routes to Europe. But is the airline really going to veer away from their Asian network?
Well, it's really added routing that we're adding to Seattle and the Pacific Northwest. It's not necessarily shifting. Our Asia market is exceptionally important to us, and so we are not going to veer away from that either. But I think it's important to listen to our customers and hear what the market is asking for. And if transatlantic and some of these new routes are what we're asking for, then we want to be able to apply ourselves fairly.
One of Delta's biggest advantages in this competition is their fleet. Alaska is currently restricted to 4 787 routes, as they only have 5 787s. While they will get more in the near future, Delta can launch any route they want, as they have tons of long-haul aircraft ready to fly. So the airline has a huge opportunity to expand their network and gain an even bigger advantage. Another advantage of Delta's fleet is its diversity. Delta has a wide range of long-haul aircraft. First of all, the airline has their A350-1000s coming in next year, and Helda told us they'll be utilized on both transatlantic and trans-Pacific flights out of Seattle. This will help the airline transport more passengers to high-demand markets without having to worry about Seattle's restricted slots. Delta is also continuing to operate their 767s, which can be deployed to markets that don't have demand to fill a 787 or A330 every day. This could play a major role in deciding which airline gets to control Seattle's global market. Both airlines bring a lot to the table with incredible products and huge ambitions. Let us know who you think will win the battle for Seattle's global market. Is it Delta or Alaska? Or is there an ideal world where both can win? Leave your answer in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Grazie e ciao Roma!